Welcome to KidVenture Ketch-up. My name is Captain Ears.
And I am Supergirl.
We are superheroes. My superpower is super hearing. Quiet, quiet. There are 2 ants crawling up the wall right now. 3, I hear 'em.
I have laser vision.
I need that wall.
Sorry, didn't mean to mess up your wall.
Well, we're going to play a game. Get your super guessing powers out, and you're going to find which cup has the ball in it. Right now, it's right here. All right? Is your super guessing power ready? Here we go. Which cup has the ball in it?
Which one?
Is it this one? Is it this one? Is it this one?
Not that one. Not that one.
It's not here.
There it is.
Did you get it right? If you did, wow, you have some super guessing powers. That's pretty cool.
Superheroes are in books, TV, movies. They have lots of superpowers. Who is your favorite superhero? And what is their superpower?
Ooh. My favorite superhero is Martian Manhunter. He can change his physical appearance whenever he wants.
I love Spider-Man because I love the way he can fling the webs and fly from place to place on his webs.
Ooh, that's pretty cool. Maybe the Flash, he can run really fast. Do you have a favorite superhero? The Bible is a very special book, and it's the story of the best superhero of all time. Do you know who that is? Jesus! The Bible is one big story of God and his plan and Jesus. Let's hear some verses about why Jesus is like the coolest superhero. So what does the Bible say about who Jesus is and the power that he has?
So our first verse comes from Matthew 3, verses 13 through 17, and it says, Jesus came from Galilee to the Jordan River. He wanted to be baptized by John, but John tried to stop him. So he told Jesus, I need to be baptized by you. So why do you come to me? Jesus replied, let it be this way for now. It is right for us to do this. It carries out God's holy plan. Then John agreed. As soon as Jesus was baptized, he came out of the water. At that moment, heaven was opened. Jesus saw the Spirit of God coming down on him like a dove. A voice from heaven said, this is my Son, and I love him. I am very pleased with him.
Wow, so that says that Jesus is God's Son. Let's see what the next verse says.
Our next verse is from Mark chapter 4, verse 35. When evening came, Jesus said to his disciples, let's go over to the other side of the lake. They left the crowd behind and they took him along in a boat, just as he was. There were also other boats with him. A wild storm came up. Waves crashed over the boat. It was about to sink. Jesus was in the back, sleeping on a cushion. The disciples woke him up. They said, Teacher, don't you care if we drown? He got up and he ordered the wind to stop. He said to the waves, Quiet, be still. Then the wind died down and it was completely calm. He said to his disciples, Why are you so afraid? Don't you have any faith at all yet? They were terrified. They asked each other, "Who is this? Even the wind and the waves obey him."
Wow. So that story is about how Jesus has power over weather and nature. Jesus calmed the storm. Do you know anyone that can do that? He's really powerful. Let's see what the next verse says.
Our next verse is in Luke chapter 18, verses 35 through 43. Jesus was approaching Jericho. A blind man was sitting by the side of the road begging. The blind man heard the crowd going by. He asked what was happening. They told him, "Jesus of Nazareth is passing by." So the blind man called out, "Jesus, Son of David, have mercy on me." Those who led the way commanded him to stop. They told him to be quiet. But he shouted even louder, "Son of David, have mercy on me." Jesus stopped and ordered the man to be brought to him. When the man came near, Jesus spoke to him. "What do you want me to do for you?" Jesus asked. "Lord, I want to be able to see," the blind man replied. Jesus said to him, "Receive your sight. Your faith has healed you." Right away he could see. He followed Jesus, praising God. When all the people saw it, they also praised God.
Wow, Jesus is so powerful that he healed this man's sight. We know that Jesus has power over illness and disease. That is pretty powerful. But I think we still have another verse.
One more verse. This one comes from John chapter 20, and it is verses 19 through 31. On the evening of that first day of the week, the disciples were together. They had locked the doors because they were afraid of the Jewish leaders. Jesus came in and stood among them. He said, "May peace be with you." Then he showed the disciples his hands and his side. The disciples were very happy when they saw the Lord. And again Jesus said, "May peace be with you. The Father has sent me. So now I am sending you." He then breathed on them and he said, "Receive the Holy Spirit. If you forgive anyone's sins, their sins are forgiven. If you do not forgive them, they are not forgiven." Thomas was one of the 12 disciples. He was also called Didymus. He was not with the other disciples when Jesus came. So they told him, "We have seen the Lord." But he said to them, "First I must see the nail marks in his hand. I must put my finger where the nails were. I must put my hand into his side. Only then will I believe." A week later, Jesus' disciples were in the house again. Thomas was with them. Even though the doors were locked, Jesus came in and stood among them. He said, "May peace be with you." Then he said to Thomas, "Put your finger here. See my hands. Reach out your hand and put it in my side. Stop doubting and believe." Thomas said to him, "My Lord and my God." Then Jesus told him, "Because you have seen me, you have believed. Blessed are those who have not seen me, but still believe." Jesus performed many other signs in front of his disciples. They are not written down in this book, but these are written so that you may believe that Jesus is the Messiah, the Son of God. If you believe this, you will have life because you belong to him.
Wow. So we celebrated Easter not that long ago, and we learned that Jesus was nailed to a cross for our sin, but he did not stay dead. Jesus is so powerful that he has power over death and raised himself back to life. Jesus is so powerful. Jesus has power over nature. Jesus has power over disease and illness. Jesus has power even over death. Jesus is the ultimate superhero.
Jesus has control and power over everything because he is God. Thank you for joining us today for KidVenture Ketch-up, and we will see you next time. And we're off.